Good morning, everyone. This is Dan with E-Bike Nation. Welcome to my channel. Hey, today we're going to get out and ride the Cyrusher Ranger. I just assembled this yesterday, and we're not going to do a full review today, but we're going to be doing a kind of a maiden ride on it so I can get used to the bike and see how it feels. And yeah, it's a beauty of a bike. I mean, it's a 26 by 4 inch fat tire bike. It's also got dual suspension on it, dual air suspension actually on this bike. So yeah, I just wanted to touch bases with you and let you know what we're doing today. So I will see you guys on the trail. Good morning, everyone. This is Dan again with E-Bike Nation. Again, we're riding the Cyrusher Ranger today. We're going to get out and do probably a 20 to 25 mile ride today. It's pretty rainy. But I've got my rain jacket with me and everything, so I'm okay. But as I mentioned in the last segment, we're going to talk about safety a little bit on these things. And today is a perfect example. When you're on the bike trail in the fall time, when you got these leaves all over and they get wet, they can definitely be slick. So that's where these fat tires are really important, because they will, with the footprint of the tire, it'll absorb a lot of that. And your chance of falling is a lot less, but you still got to be very careful when you're on these wet leaves. And few safety tips I'll give you about riding on bike trails is, one, when you're coming up on somebody, you always want to announce on your left or on your right, or use your bell or your horn. A lot of people don't like these bells and horns because they're so loud. I mean, that was pretty loud. But yeah, it's good to announce when you're doing that, because people are usually talking and they're not really paying attention to people behind them. So you got to make sure you give them clear warning, and don't do it when you just get right up on them. Give them quite a bit of notice that you're coming. I don't see enough bikers out doing that. And a couple things you definitely want to carry is a cell phone, because it's got GPS on it, obviously. I use a Strava app, which is a yearly subscription app. And every ride I take, I can text whoever I want to and let them know when I'm leaving, where I'm at. So they can follow me real time right on the trail. On your left. So that's important as well, to have that on your phone. On your left. And here in Ohio and most states in the country, there's a 20 mile per hour speed limit on the bike trail. So I always try to stay within that parameters. Unless there's nobody on the trail, and then I'll maybe bump it up a little bit. On your left. And again, you got to watch out for walnuts on the trail this time of year as well. On your left, because them things can give you a little bit of havoc as well when you run over them. And the first and foremost important thing is to wear a bike helmet. I could not tell you how many people I see not wearing bike helmets. I don't care if it's an e-bike or a regular bike. Some people, and just like motorcycle riders, they think they have the right, and they do. If they want to risk splitting their head wide open or possibly killing you, that's okay, you know, but that's the risk you take. So I wear a bike helmet My bike helmet is tested up to 32 miles per hour, crash tested. And I'll put a link down in the description box of my helmet, and I think you get a small discount on it if you order it off my channel. And I really would appreciate everybody that orders things off my channel, because you get a little bit of discount and I get a little bit of help on my channel. I have a few things on my bike that are add-ons. I added the bag, the bike rack. Did not have that on this Ranger. Mirrors, turn signals, cup holder. So these are some of the things I did add on to the bike. Again, when I get the bike in, I deflate the tires completely, take out the valve stem, and I put in flat out in all my tires before I get it on the trail or the road or anywhere for that matter. I go ahead and put flat out in there. So your chance of getting a flat tire is probably reduced by 90%, maybe 95%. So that's how important it is to either have liners in there, like Tannis liners or whatever. I have that in one of my bikes as well, on my Cyrusher Komoda. But this one I just put flat out in, and I do as well as all my other bikes as well. On your left. Getting a little bit of rain falling off these trees here, and definitely coming up from the front tire. But it's still sprinkling a little bit. Not enough to get my raincoat on, but if it gets much more, I'll be putting on my raincoat. Okay, back to safety. Those are some of the things you got to be careful with on the trail. I stop at all stop signs, obviously. Or if I try to remember to, for sure. Even though most bikers don't, we still need to follow the laws of the trail, because on your left, because if we disregard everything, they're going to start regulating these bikes. It's coming sooner or later anyway, so we got to be aware of that, to be courteous to other people that are using the trail, whether it's walking their dogs, walking their kids, or whatever. Just remember, we're not the only ones on the trail. So those are a couple things that we pay attention to. I always try to carry a first aid kit. I don't have it in my bag yet today in this bike, but I will be purchasing a small first aid kit to carry. Of course, I carry my electric bike pump that's battery operated. I carry a tool to take out the valve stem, obviously, if I get a flat tire on the trail and I need to put flat out or slime back in there, I can. So those are some of the things that I carry with me. And of course, all tools you may need to adjust anything on your bike, for that matter, that may come loose. You'll have the right tools, and most of the bike companies send you the tools with the bike that fit everything. So I carry all those in my bike bag. So that's just a little bit about trail riding. Just be courteous to others. On your left. Yeah, I kind of wish I can order fenders for this if I want. I don't know if I'm going to. I really like the look of it without the fenders. So I may leave that alone. I don't have to ride in the rain that often, but occasionally I do, so be prepared to get a little wet, especially when the trail's still wet. So that's just a little bit about what to carry with you. I mean, it wouldn't even hurt to carry inner tubes with you in case you can't repair an inner tube. Bike levers, things of that nature, where you can take the tire off the rim, and those bike levers, 2 of them really helps to take that off. Eventually you're going to get a flat tire. It's inevitable. Even with flat out, it doesn't protect it 100%, but your chances really minimized once you have the flat out or the slime or whatever in there. It certainly helps. Now, when we get into road safety, that's a different animal. Riding on the road brings up all kinds of different issues that you can encounter where you don't encounter on the trail. On your left. On your left. But when you're road riding, there's 2 things you got to remember, and I say it on all my safety videos: situational awareness and keep your head on a swivel at all times. Because not only do you have to drive defensively on your bike, you got to drive offensively, where if you need to jump off that bike or something like that, you can do that. On your left. So those are some of the important things to remember. Never anticipate what somebody's going to do, especially in a car or a truck or something like that. You don't know what they're going to do. So you got to be prepared. You got about less than a second to respond to any given situation. Wear bright clothing, obviously, when you're on the road, much as you can. Helmets that's got lights on them, bike lights. You want all that stuff where you can become very visible to other people that are sharing the road with you. So there are a few things there. Nice person waited on me there. Got a lot of wet leaves today. I'm hoping that people that clean the trails will, once this dries out, they'll be out blowing these off the trail, and that'll help. As far as crossing intersections on a road, here in Ohio, and I'm sure it is probably with most states, you're supposed to get off of that bike and walk that bike across the intersection. That's really a law here. Sometimes I do and sometimes I don't, so I'm guilty of that, so I should practice what I preach. And if I'm going to cross the intersection and I have the walk sign, you still got to watch people behind you that wants to turn right where you're walking across that intersection. I always look back before I cross that intersection. There's too many times somebody will just fly right through there and not even pay attention to you on the trail or on that intersection, so keep that in mind. Remember, most bikes, you're only going to get, some class 3 bikes, you get 28 miles an hour. This one will do that. On your left. But for the most part, on the trail, I don't go over 20 miles an hour. It's just, there's too many things can happen even on the trail. And on the road, if you've got designated sidewalks for you to ride on, you're probably better off being on those sidewalks. That way you don't have a chance of getting hit by a car. I like how this bike is balanced. I mean, I can come to a complete stop pretty much without having to put my legs down, and I got good enough balance where I can just throttle across that intersection at that point. Fortunately, here in Ohio, we are blessed with so many bike trails. We probably have the best in the nation from what I hear. There are so many places you can go in Ohio on these rail trails. I'd say that might be an e-bike coming, but maybe not. Everybody out trying to get their exercise. And let's talk about exercise and calorie burn and all that. You'll get some people that'll come across the internet and say, you're cheating, you're not going to get exercise like that. But let me tell you what, I have an app on my phone and on my Apple Watch that can calculate how many calories I'm burning on a ride, and it's pretty accurate. I even wear a Fitbit on my right arm. Medicare was kind enough to send it to me for free. So some of you that's got Medicare, you can check into that. You might get your free Fitbit watch. They just ship it right to your house. Don't cost you a dime. Of course, they're promoting exercise and everything, so. But I can tell you on a normal 30-mile ride, 28 to 30, I can burn between 1,000 to 1,200 calories on an e-bike. So for those naysayers say that you can't, you don't own an e-bike, so you don't know what you're talking about. And anybody you talk to that owns an e-bike, they're going to tell you the same thing I just told you. You will certainly burn calories. Let me clean off this lens here a little bit. It may be wet. Every now and then I got to swipe it. Looks pretty good right now. But yeah, I can feel the exercise in my legs today for sure, because I'm down into pedal assist 2, and with this torque sensor, you have to actually put pressure on those pedals in order to get that torque sensor to determine that you're turning that pedal. Now with the cadence sensor, I don't like those. I have a couple bikes that got torque sensors, the rest of them have cadence sensors, which means once you start pedaling, that cadence sensor is going to automatically bump that up to the speed that you have that set at in your settings. And when you get to be 15, 17 mile an hour, you're going to be ghost pedaling for the most part. You're not going to get a whole lot of exercise doing that. You can get a little, but not as like you should. So that's why I like torque sensor bikes. And I mentioned that to the owner of Cyrusher. I would like to see them to come out with some more torque sensors on these bikes. Of course, that costs them a little more to do that. But I can tell you from all the bikes that I have ridden, and I've ridden them from $900 up to $3,000, several of them, that you're going to get what you pay for. If you buy a cheaper bike, you're going to get cheaper components on that bike. That's a fact. But for the most part, your well-known manufacturers like Rad and Cyrusher and Electric, and Electric's more of a budget bike, I think. But when you get these Aventins, I'm just naming a few that I know off the top of my head, Ad Motor, their bikes are priced between $2,000 and $3,000 for a reason. Again, this bike is priced at $27.99 plus tax, and it's worth every dime of it. This bike has got a lot of quality stuff that we'll be talking about when I get to my halfway point here. Yeah, getting most of the leaves off the trees now. But I highly encourage seniors, people with disabilities, for transportation, going to the store, running errands around the house. These bikes are made for that. There are so many new manufacturers coming on the scene, it's unbelievable. I'll get an email from somebody every now and then I've never heard of before. Want me to either review the bike, or I have reached out to them. I've seen something that interests me, and I'll reach out to them, and most of the time they don't reach back, but they have your email and they know what your channel's all about. So when they see a particular bike that they want you to review, whether it be for an age group or whatever, that they'll reach out to you. I'll be 72 the end of November, so I get out and ride at least 3 to 5 days a week. Okay, I think we're going to stop the video right here. We're going to bring up segment number 3 of the video. So yeah, I want to thank you guys for watching, and your subscribers for subscribing. And if you have not subscribed, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification, like, share the video, and I will see you guys on the next video.